I know this is frustrating, but seriously, all I see are buying opportunities. This price action is a fake out. It is the complete opposite of what happened in May. This isn't about diamond hands. If you sell into this kind of fear, you are very much going to regret it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is pretty much all I want to talk about current price action. This is what I believe. I recently followed this person on Twitter, Bitcoincom. Would strongly recommend that you follow him. He has access to that coveted $800 a month level 3 Glassnode data. And this is my favorite chart. Bitcoin's illiquid supply change. You've seen me share charts about illiquid supply. This is actually my favorite one because you can see the difference between May and today. You can see the peak in 2021 versus today. And you can certainly see that there's a huge difference between now and the peak in May and in 2017. And so look at May. And this is what I'm talking about, how different now is from May. The supply became very liquid and the price dumped. And instead we have a 4-year high in Bitcoin's supply becoming illiquid. I am expecting a pump. I'm expecting it to be pretty violent at some point. When? Maybe not the next few days, maybe not the next week, but at some point, maybe before the end of the month, maybe December, at some point, we are going to see a violent move upwards. But that's all I want to talk about for price action today. There was a question that was asked on my Twitter account, and I thought it would be worth to take a look at is how much is this affecting today's price action? This Mt. Gox FUD, it's just been this cloud that's been hanging over us. For those of you who don't know, Mt. Gox stands for Magic the Gathering Online Exchange, which of course has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but they were an exchange for Magic the Gathering related things. And there was very little that existed as far as exchanges were concerned in 2014. And so Mt. Gox, the founder of Mt. Gox was like, hey, yeah, let's trade some Bitcoin, especially because people were using Bitcoin to exchange Magic the Gathering. I don't know if it was paraphernalia, cards, I'm assuming. And so what happened with Magic the Gathering, with Mt. Gox, was that they got hacked. And a lot of the reason why people are afraid to hold their cryptocurrencies on places like Coinbase or Gemini or BlockFi, Voyager, et cetera, is because of Magic the Gathering. They don't want a repeat of of Mt. Gox. And so about 800,000 Bitcoin were stolen. They have been able to recover over the last 7 years, 141,000, a little bit more than that Bitcoin that they are planning to return to people who got their Bitcoin stolen from them. These people who would have sold their Bitcoin for $2,000 and bought a used Ford Taurus became forced hodlers, and now they have Bitcoin worth several tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. And they have been waiting impatiently. I'm not even going to say patiently. They have been waiting impatiently for the day when they get their Bitcoin returned to them, some of their Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has increased in value something like 600x since then. And so, you know what? If they don't get all of their Bitcoin back, I don't think they're going to cry too much. So here are some things that are true about Mt. Gox and about this recovery, which has been hanging over us like a cloud. I think I already said that. Anyway, it's been hanging over us like a cloud. Here's some things that's true. They are absolutely going to dump their Bitcoin onto us, and they're going to sell it. And that is going to cause the price of Bitcoin to dump very hard. 141,000 Bitcoin is not an insignificant amount of Bitcoin. So now the question is when? And that is the thing that I'm going to look to answer in this video. There are some great sources for when we can find this actually happening. And short answer, it's not going to happen within the next few months. I'm certain of that. And the people who are affected by this are very certain of that. And so we'll cover that. But this article in particular was shared with me. And I Googled Mt. Gox settlement. And it's funny that this one was shared with me because this is the most sensationalized article that I found when I Googled it. And so this article titled, Bitcoin Investors Shake with Fear as Mt. Gox Prepares to Dump 141,000 Bitcoin. I mean, come on. I mean, you guys know the drill by now. It's all clickbait. That's such a clickbait title. But even these subpoints. So yes, this is true. Subpoint number one, the defunct Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox is nearing the end of a rehabilitation plan to return 141,000, et cetera, Bitcoin, not Bitcoins, to the rightful owners. Experts believe that the Bitcoin lost in Mt. Gox is likely to make its way back into exchanges. I have no doubt about that. If I were one of those people who lost that Bitcoin, I would probably sell some of it. You know, I wouldn't sell all of it because I am a long-term holder of Bitcoin, but I would sell some of it to, I don't know, you know, buy something nice for my wife or something. I think I would guess, my guess is that probably about half of the Bitcoin return, maybe at least half, maybe more than that, will be sold when they get their Bitcoin back. And then this last one is a complete lie. Bitcoin price drop below $60,000 was fueled by the news of Mt. Gox's comeback and the rejection of the spot Bitcoin ETF. That's not true. That's not true at all. This is a sensationalized article, but since this is the one that was shared with me, I wanted to address that. This one from Bitcoin.com is a little bit better. So Mt. Gox claimants may see restitution soon. See, here, this is the kind of language that is truthful that I want to hear, because this is true. Mt. Gox claimants may see restitution soon, as a recent filing from the Tokyo District Court's trustee, Nobuaki Kobayashi, explains that the rehabilitation plan is now final and binding. So here we go. The rehabilitation plan is now final and binding. But what happens now? What happens now between this rehabilitation plan being final and binding and the people receiving their Bitcoin? Well, let me tell you this. It's taken about 7 years to get to this point. Do you honestly think that it's now going to take a month or a few weeks for this step to lead to people getting their Bitcoin? The answer is no. I read the document. You can read it on mountgox.com, IMG, PDF, et cetera, announcement. You just go to mountgox.com or something like that, and you'll be able to read this. There's certain language that that indicates for sure that it's going to take a while. So probably the most telling thing is this. Please note that we may not be able to reply timely due to the large number of inquiries we may receive via the inquiry form. Please note that we cannot respond to direct inquiries or email inquiries to the Rehabilitation Trustee's office or the Rehabilitation Trustee. So here's the information that I've gathered. The people in charge of the settlement here in Japan, not that that means anything. I mean, Japan are excellent people. All right, anyway, in Japan, they're going to set up an inquiry form. And they know that there are going to be a lot of inquiries that are going to be made. They are going to need to gather, I don't know why, but they're going to need to gather bank account information. Why not just a Bitcoin address? But hey, they're going to gather bank account information. They're going to gather, normal, typical KYC stuff. So just to verify that the person who got their Bitcoin, that's getting their Bitcoin returned to them, is the same person who got their Bitcoin stolen from them in 2014. So the entire process of verification of identity, of correct bank account information, it's going to take something like 3 to 6 months. And a fantastic resource for figuring out how long it's going to take, I would suggest that you look at the Reddit group, Mt. Gox, the subreddit, Mt. Gox Insolvency Discussion Sub, and you will see very raw information. I mean, these are people who are very much incentivized to be paying attention to this. I really think this is the best information available. And so here's, so let's see, where is it? Frequently asked questions. No. So Mt. Gox, this is a big one here. MountGox.com, notice of confirmation, order of rehabilitation plan becoming final and binding. If you were to click in the comments section, the people here are excited, but they're sobered. And so what they understand is that whatever this next step in the process, it's going to take 3 to 6 months. There's another step in the process that's going to take 3 to 6 months. Conservatively, according to their estimates, they are thinking that they're probably going to get their Bitcoin returned to them sometime in the middle of 2023, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a perfect time to for them to receive it, not anywhere near the peak. That is going to be the middle of the bear market. And please, let me buy your bear market bottom priced Bitcoin at a discount, drive that price down. I will gladly buy the Bitcoin that you got stolen from you and then got returned to you. So I will be keeping an eye on this, but this is something that I do believe is probably about 18 months out from actually happening. And if there's any updates, sure, I'll gladly give you some updates on that. But as far as the short term is concerned, this kind of an article right here is nonsense. You've got to drain that out. You've got to filter the clickbait from the truth. And there's plenty of ways to do that. My number one researching tool is to look at primary sources, not secondary sources. This article is a secondary source. MountGox.com and this announcement page, this is a primary source. Always, always, always look for primary sources. So, hey, one other thing that I want to share with you about today. So first of all, no, do not buy this. I bought an NFT, and so I wanted to share that with you. Floor price is rising, but I am not recommending that any of you buy this. I will not. Please don't buy one of these NFTs. Babblex, if you don't know who Babblex is, he's a French artist. This is not a paid promotion, by the way, but the Blockchain Boy did do a paid promotion about these NFTs. And so I bought a golden ticket, and then I sold that golden ticket for a little bit more than twice as much as I bought it for. And then I used those proceeds to buy a specific NFT. And there's a lot of really neat things about this. There's several different traits. There's common, uncommon, rare, and legendary. And so I wanted to buy an NFT with at least one rare trait, and I wanted to buy one with a specific background, not one of these random, solid colored backgrounds, but a specific one. And so how would I pull that one up, and I will share that with you. And if you're bored about this, you're not even interested, no worries about it. You don't have to watch any more of the video because this is all I'm going to talk about. So this is my Babblex. And so there's 6,000 in total, and 1,000 of them are actually going to be turned into statues by the artist Babblex. And we will, if I'm a lucky holder of one of the Babblex NFTs that becomes a statue, that will be my statue. And so I think that's pretty cool. It's going to be valued around $1,000, but I bought this for around 6 Solana. So it has this background. There's several different backgrounds. This is considered an uncommon background, so second most common. And then he has an earring that's an uncommon trait. His tusks are gold, another uncommon trait. And then the alien eyes, that is a rare trait. And so I bought this, I think around 6 Solana. And the lowest price NFT with this background is now 7.5 Solana. I don't know. I think it's cool. And there definitely seems to be some kind of real world use case with this one. So I'm interested to see where this goes. It looks like there's a lot of potential over the next few months and maybe even years. But I'll probably, just because I don't want to own NFTs in the bear market, I think there's going to be great buying opportunities in the bear market. I will probably sell this at some point, but I'm happy holding it for the next several days or weeks or even months. So anyway, do not recommend it. Don't buy Babblex NFTs. I just think this one's cool, and the fees are ultra low, so I like that. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Weather the storm. I know that it's rough, but better days are coming. Look at this. I mean, this is how it goes. And this is extraordinary bullish to me. And certain people who are very good at TA, who I think are very reliable with technical analysis, they're also bullish. And so this is nothing like May. Just weather the storm. We will get through this, and we will see better days. Until then, I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.